My name is Bob Sonnenberg, and this is my wife, Ingrid. We live here on a farm called Sonnenberg Farms. We're in central Minnesota, a little town by the name of New York Mills. Farm is not a very large farm, about 550 acres. It's divided into two sections: agricultural crops, about 300 acres, trees, about 250. And then we have a wetland of about 40 acres. My parents bought this farm in 1941. And so I grew up here as a teenager, and in 1946 I left home, and I went into service, and I didn't come back to New York Mills until 50 years later. But I did buy the home farm in 1959 from my parents, and we're doing things on the farm that we're establishing a family legacy, and we hope that the farm will stay in that partnership for many, many, many years. I got introduced by the state's assigned forester. That happened in about the mid-90s, and so I've been quite involved with the tree farm ever since that introduction. You know, I just love to go out and look at my progress, you know, and I actually keep track of how many inches, a good number of these trees, and I have sample trees in all of my little plantations. And so I monitor them continuously. And so, you know, my biggest joy is I have taken some depleted lands and I have made them productive.
I love to walk in the woods. I enjoy skiing in the woods. And I watched the wildlife, which I enjoy very much.
If I had to pick one area that took the most work, and I will say that I'm most proud of that, and that was the restoration of a 40-acre wetland. I have recognized the benefit of having very knowledgeable people tell you about disciplines that you don't understand. And so I say my biggest challenge was touching the people that had the information that I could get to me to use it. I get most of my education through the University of Minnesota Forestry Extension Service. I also belong to a variety of private forest landowner organizations like the Minnesota Forest Association, the Minnesota Forest Resource Partnership, and I also serve as several, like 4 advisory committees for the Department of Natural Resources Forestry Department. So I pick up an awful lot of information dealing with professional forests in those capacities. I kind of define a problem, gather some data, look at my options, and decide if I need to change what I'm doing. And I did take that kind of approach to my tree farm. The only personnel I have helping me standing right next to me here is Ingrid. And so Ingrid and I are the staff on this farm. We hire very, very few people. I pride myself, and I've accomplished this, I think, of having all the equipment on this farm for me to use to run a tree operation from seeds to lumber. But I find that by myself, at a leisurely pace, I can accomplish all the things that need to be done to plant a forest, groom a forest, care for a forest, and make the product. Oh, I think the secret that Ingrid and I have kind of agreed on is discipline, diligence, stay with it. You have a failure, don't be deterred, go on. Education helps a lot, and so I think that's the kind of thing that has gotten us to where we are. I got all these little experiments going on of how to plant acorns, what to do about this, mix of trees, growth on trees, identification of multiple species. So right now, I guess I'd offhand say I've had at least 10 classes out here. But I talk to people a lot about things that you think about in regard to forestry and the multiple activities involved in that. And I'm talking about the academic experience of forestry. I'm talking about hands-on applying what you've learned in the academic environment. And I'm talking about the analysis of the results and then adjusting the system so that it's working the right way. I'd say you take that engineering approach to a problem and lay it on a tree and you're going to have a success. One of the reasons I'm such an advocate of tree farm system is their philosophy is the same as mine. Or maybe it's the other way around. Mine is like theirs. That is, we should all struggle and work towards sustainable forestry because of the benefits we all derive from it.